2. Hi, everyone. It is Meaningful Conversations. We are back, Anna, and I am Karen, and we're back to talk about meaningful conversations as we do every fortnight. And today we have chosen to talk about our vision or our dream, and if there's a difference. And I've been chatting about if there's a difference between that and goals. And so, Anna, I welcome you here, and I welcome everybody who's joined in or is going to join in or watch this. And Anna, I welcome you. It's lovely to have you here again.
Thank you, Karen. I almost put on black, and then we would be matching today. You look nice in that pink, but black looks good on you too. Very smart.
Yeah, black is one of the
and
colors
today
that
we
I
talk
love.
about. So the vision, this in front of me, what I see in front of me, I call that is a picture, right? And it's so beautiful. Like the picture I see in front of me, I see you as a really that matching background and everything. Um, Vision is what I see, and what I see can be very straight in front of me, or I can see it in my imagination. Yeah. So literally, that's how I understand vision. And for a long time, I took it that way. You know, the faculty vision is the faculty of seeing in one of our senses. I used to take it that literally. You know, vision is like when you hear the weather forecast, they often say you can vision. The vision is about 10 kilometers or 20 kilometers, depend on how foggy it is or how clear the sky is. It can see further away, or it can see very short distance. Yeah, so I used to think it's very literally like that. Vision is using this faculty of seeing the senses, our major senses of seeing, in order to see something right in front of you or see something in your imagination. So what about you? What do you think? Of course, now I see it in different way. It changed a little bit over time as how I understand it. But back to you.
So when I talk about your vision or my vision or our vision, not vision as in simply through our eyes, as you say, seeing something as a vision, I wanted to go back a step and say and explain to our audience and our listeners that everything is created twice in this physical world. First in thought, and then it becomes reality if we do certain things, take certain steps. And as humans, we think in pictures. So when we dream up something that we would love in our life, something to be, do, have, or the life that we would love, we create a picture of that when we're thinking about it. And the thing is, without a vision, we're really going nowhere. You're going to trade your life to build something that matters to you. And you'll either do it out of the default position or you will do it by design. So the ability to create your dreams or your vision is innate. We all have that ability and it's everywhere present. And you access that through your awareness of that is what changes. So to go back to, without a vision, I love this quote. No wind is favorable to the sailor, which has no destination in mind. And when we say it's what we create in our lives will happen as a result of a vision or a destination or a dreamed up outcome, a visually seen outcome of where we want to go. Everything is created twice in this world. And that applies to our life and our results as well as physical things like the chair we're sitting on. So when I give you an example of everything being created twice this chair I'm sitting on, if you go back and say, where was the chair before it became a chair? And the answer to that is it started in the chair designer's head, in the chair designer's thoughts. And that chair designer decided to design a chair, or they'd like to make a chair, and they saw every single detail of what that chair looks like in order for it to be here in this physical world. It was a vision, a picture, because we think in pictures of exactly how the chair will look. And then that actually exists in the quantum realm. Anytime we dream something up as humans in this part of our life, this stage of our life as humans in this physical world, actually exists in the quantum realm already. So it could have just stayed there and not become a chair if the chair designer hadn't done certain things, and the things that we do to bring that vision into this physical world, from the world of possibility and ideas into this physical world, was first of all get it out of our head onto some kind of paper, some kind of blueprint, create a blueprint. Now, designers use CAD, programs, or they might, you've seen a lot of houses be by the designer being drawn on paper. I use people to delve into their vision and create, write what they would love as if it's already happened in the present, using I am statements written out, because when we write, we actually connect a part of the brain to that energy, and we connect different parts of our brain, and we form a bridge between our thinking and reality. And so they had to do that blueprint first, and then the next thing is to take action. So if you just have a picture of what you want, whether it's of a chair or whether it's of a life you would love, and take no action, nothing will happen. And of course, the chair designer had to go and maybe go to the manufacturer, find a manufacturer, look for one, go to a manufacturer and say, I want you to make me this chair that I have a vision of, and here's the blueprint. Or maybe they would have ordered the materials to create that chair themselves if they were going to be the manufacturer themselves. However, there's always steps that we take as part of the action. And those would be goals for me. That would be, I'm going to draw that. First of all, I'll draw it. Then I'm going to order the materials or go to the manufacturer. I'm going to get them to do a prototype, and then I'll get them to make 3 or 5. Those are all goals. Those are all parts of making the vision. And then, of course, that causes our results. So there is a law, that's a law of success, or there's another name for it, it's just gone out of my head, which is your thoughts cause your feelings, and emotions, which cause the actions that you take, which cause your results. And so now we're working with a chair, it's really simple to understand. Now, if we apply those same things to our life and our results, it works the same way. We start with a picture, and then we take action. We have feelings and emotions about that. So we start with a picture of something we would love in our lives, and then we take action, and then we get our results. And so for me, your vision is your dream of what you would want in your life, the big picture of everything that you would love in your life, love to be, do, have, create, and give, in every area that we create results in. Because like I said with that quote I mentioned previously, we do things by default. We create our life and our results by default or by design. As humans, we default to thinking about what we don't want, thinking about problems and challenges, thinking about the things that are stopping us. And if we don't stop doing that, actually interrupt that pattern and replace it with what we do want, and thoughts that are and feelings that are a higher energetic frequency, then we attract the rest by default. And that's why many of us do not get what it is that we want in life. So long answer to your question, However, for me, I do a lot of work with this vision. And before I stop talking, and then I'll let you talk again, Anna, I want to talk
No, I
about...
enjoy listening to what you elaborate of how you elaborate the vision to you and how you understand it. And I can tell you have that depth of knowledge and understanding. You know, that comprehension is so deep that you feel like you haven't got it all out, right? You feel like you
Yeah.
can say more and do more with it. Yeah.
Well, it's not new. This
Mm.
study of quantum physics and the universal laws and how we create our results is not new. And that's why before I finish, is talk about Henry David Thoreau. And that was in the, I think, mid-18th century. And he decided that he wanted to do an experiment with his life for 2 years, 2 months, and 2 days. And he took himself off. He was a surveyor by trade, and he took himself off into the woods, and he started to study what causes success, what happens in our life. And he stayed in a little cottage in the woods and traveled to work every day. And right in the beginning, he realized that he was taking the same path to his work every day. And he had a bit of an epiphany, and he said, same route, same path, same way of thinking. And so he stopped himself because he wanted to do this experiment and started to take different paths to his work each day. Anyway, over that time, he studied what he called the things that can help us have a wonderful, wealthy, healthy, successful life. And he wrote an essay called The Walden Essay, and it's a very, very famous book. And in it, there is a code. It said that there is a code for success in life in every way. And so I want to share that with you, and maybe we can unpack it a bit this time and maybe next time. And the code, you'll find part of this code in America, because he was American, on mugs, on pictures on the wall, or quotes on the wall all over the place. It's a very, very famous quote. And it reads like this: if one advances confidently in the direction of their dream, endeavoring to live the life they are imagining. That's what we're talking about, the vision, right? One passes an invisible boundary and meets with a success unexpected in common hours. I'll explain what that means in a minute. All sorts of things begin to occur that never otherwise would have occurred. New, more universal, liberal laws begin to establish themselves around that person, or the old laws are rearranged in one's favor. Nevertheless, one begins to live with the license of a higher order of being. And so he's actually describing what I just talked about, in that if you create the life that you would love as a vision, the life you imagine that you would love to live, and then start to imagine you're living that life every single day as if it's already happened, one passes invisible boundaries and meets with the success unexpected in common hours. So common hour thinking is something that we talk about, that we've been programmed to do for the status quo thinkers. So that's what he means by that. If you start to think differently about what's possible and how life is and how life can be, you're not thinking in the way that 97% of programmed thinkers think. So then he goes on to say all sorts of things begin to occur that never otherwise would have occurred, because what happens is you change your thinking, you're sending different messages out. And of course, the universe responds to what we're asking for. So the universe doesn't make judgment. If you're thinking about something you don't want that's awful, the universe doesn't say you don't want that. It says, here you are, this is what you're asking for. So the universe doesn't make judgment, and it also doesn't see the negative word, no. So we teach people not to say, so we teach people not to think about, I don't want any debt, for example, because the universe will see, I want debt, right? So we teach people to send the messages out by way of our thinking, because that's what we're doing when we're thinking. We're operating at a frequency and we're sending messages out in the way that we really want. I'm so happy and grateful that I am money flows to me. I am all my bank accounts are in credit, things like that, right? And so he says all sorts of things begin to, because what happens is we get answers to everything we're thinking and sending out there. We often don't see them, but once we start looking for them, we will see them. So all sorts of things begin to occur that never otherwise would have occurred. New, more universal liberal laws begin to establish themselves around us, or old laws are rearranged in one's favor. This is a deeply, deeply philosophical and meaningful quote. Nevertheless, one begins to live with the license of a higher order of being. So he's saying that we actually cross the boundaries of our programming and our negative thinking that stops us from achieving things, and start to live in a way that's a higher being. Our inner being is getting back a higher order of results than what we were before. Without that vision, when you want to go on holiday, if you don't know where you're going, and you service the car and you pack it up and you pump up the tires and you're like, right, I'm going away for 2 weeks, but you have no destination in mind, you'll be driving around aimlessly, right?
Usually we don't do that.
That's what we do we do it all the time, though, because we don't have a clear destination. You have to have absolute clarity in your vision, your outcome, your destination in specific detail.
Yeah.
And the thing is, the how is not important, because what happens is we tend to stop ourselves from imagining something because we would love, and imagine ourselves living that life because we don't know how. We don't know how to get there.
And the how will come, but normally at the beginning of the journey, we're scared. We say we don't know how, and then we stop. You're so right. And it's amazing quote, and elaborating of how you understand it. And you just state the important and the reason why we need to have a vision for our life. Yeah, and I totally agree with that. And as James Allen in As the Man Thinketh, I say the same thing. Everything starts in the mind. And so as Napoleon Hill, he say, whatever you can perceive, can believe in your mind, you can, receive. Yeah. Anything start with the mind. And I totally agree with you that sometimes we plan for making a new top or a house. We spend more time visioning it, planning it, and use our imagination and collaborate with somebody else, elaborate the imagination and plan together with the architect, with the builder, with the designer and everyone. We spend like a whole year or sometimes more to plan on a house. Sometimes we plan on a holiday. We spend more time thinking, visioning, which go back to the vision. And I actually looked up and find the definition of it. It's one of it is the now. It can be a verb of a process of thinking, or it can be a now. It's the ability to think about or plan the future with imagination and wisdom. So that is the definition that I found. Vision is the ability to think about or plan the future with imagination and wisdom. And we do that a lot for everything else. How we do a haircut, we vision it, we plan ahead, we think, we look through the magazine to see, I am going to have that vision of my look, and I'm going to have the vision of my house. And we plan, elaborate that, but we don't do that for our life.
Our life, yeah. So right, Anna.
Yeah.
Because we don't realize it's the same process. We're not taught this stuff, we're not taught that we can do it.
And I like you say 97% of people stay in the comfort zone. I think it's more like 100%, because I myself love to stay in my comfort zone, stay in the thing that I'm already known. But if I have to plan ahead, which I have to take my brain outside of my comfort zone, take my brain outside of the known area, I have to think of something new. It's scary. I don't like it. I don't like that process of thinking. And I feel so much unknown. I can't really imagine something that hasn't happened yet. And that's really uncomfortable. And that's why creativity and imagination kick in. And we have that faculty, but we rarely use to design the vision for our life. So I guess I am in that 97% of people who doesn't like to think about my vision. But I knew I need it. So I forced myself to do it. And sometimes I talk to people who go ahead of me to catch their vision first, to see how can I go on this journey to get to that. And then by the time I get there, I might catch somebody else's vision who is bigger and ahead of me. And then I might just follow that process. And in the end, somehow, at some point, I train my brain, train that imagination faculty to the point where I say, come on, I can actually create my own life. I don't have to follow the footstep of somebody else anymore. Yeah. So that is what my experience in life. And at the moment, I'm catching somebody a vision, and I think that's big enough. Have a life of fulfillment, have a life of wonderful relationship, have a life by the beach, have the house where I can just step down back to have a dip in the ocean in the morning to start my day. That is my life that I see somebody else live, and I like it. And I haven't got there yet, but I love to have that, and that can be my vision. So it's just amazing.
Yeah, we have,
and get back to you. Yeah,
it's great, Anna. We do have a specific process to help people create their vision, and I ask 2 questions. Apart from what would you love, I ask for each domain which we create results in our life, our health and well-being, our relationships and loved ones, our business, career or vocation, and our time and money freedom. Those are the 4 domains that we create results in. I ask, what do you long for that you don't already have? What do you want more of in each one of those, if you think about that question? And what do you want less of something that is current at the moment? And when you ask those questions of yourself around those things, and we have a process to do it, then you come up with more specifics around what you want, what you would love in your life. And I keep saying to people, don't worry about the how, just be honest. What would you love? What do you long for in your relationships? Maybe you have a relationship, maybe you have a husband or a partner, but maybe there's not quite the passion and connection that you would love. Or maybe you don't have that special partner yet. So you write those things down. I'm so happy and grateful now that my partner and I are really connected and we have a really passionate relationship. Or, I've met my dream man or woman, and you write these things down. And this is part of the process. This is part of getting the chair from the designer's head into this physical space. It's the same process. And I just want to address, there's some people who've made comments. So we've got Teddy, and Teddy's saying, thank you for sharing this great topic. Thanks for joining us, Teddy. And Justine Rosabella, she's saying, thanks for sharing this to us all, so powerful. So wonderful to have you here on this podcast with Anna and I. And it's one of my favorite topics, as you know, and it's really critical that we all have that vision for our life, because, like I said, we'll drive around aimlessly if we don't know exactly where we're going. So the more specific we are in each area of our life, where do you want to live? Like you said, Anna, I live somewhere near the beach where I can get up and go and have a swim every day, every morning. And I feel, because include feelings in your vision. I feel so vibrant after I've done that. I feel so energized. The salt
Alive.
water makes me feel, and you write it all down. Then you read it every single day if you have time, or at least a few times a week. But it's got to be written in the present. And we start with I am, which is the most powerful statement we can make about ourselves. And we use so happy and grateful, gratitude, like you said, Anna. We can be grateful for something. Most people don't know this. Gratitude changes our frequency. And it's something that we want to practice doing every day. We want to make it a practice every day. List a few things, even in your head. You don't necessarily have to write it down, of things you're grateful for each day, and it makes you start to think differently and see your day differently. However, what a lot of people don't know is you can give gratitude and be grateful for something that hasn't yet happened that you would love in your life. And the power in that is enormous. What do you think, Anna?
Wonderful. Yeah, so wonderful. And I believe in that. Gratitude is the greatest emotion that people can experience. Isn't even better than love.
Yeah, and it's a
when
frequency.
you actually feel it deeply, it's the greatest attitude, the most wonderful feeling that attracts the right thing into our life. And it, like you said, it increased the frequency, the
that we're operating at,
that attract the right thing into your life rather than the unwanted. And like I said, a lot of people know, but they don't do it or don't believe they can get where they want to get, because, like I said, vision can be foggy, because of all the doubt. Just like the way you are out in sea, out of sea, and it's so foggy, you might only see so short a distance because of the fog of doubt and fear. But if we know that the sun will always shine above all that fog, we believe that the sun will clear everything. And if you can hold hand with somebody who is stronger than you, who can show you the sunshine, then you might get over that foggy area and see further for your life. And it's not that scary. It's actually quite simple. So I believe in that. It's really simple process, and it's doable. It is easy, more easy and simple than people think. And when I found out, I realized that it's more simple and easy than I used to think. I used to think it's really complicated. I have no idea where I'm heading, not sure what my life is all about. And now, when that all answered, it's so simple, just simple. And I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful for this conversation, and Karen. So
it's a wonderful topic, isn't it? So I think it's almost time for us to finish, Anna.
Yeah.
And so I've got a closing thought, and then I'd like you to give your closing thought, Anna. So my closing thought is, if you want to go from the mediocre to extraordinary, if you want to go from a good life, to a great life, because, by the way, good is the enemy of great. Often we say, oh, I've got a good life, I should be happy with it, I should be happy with what I've got. No. You want to have a great life. If you want to go from okay to spectacular, or from well to amazing, then you want your dream to be something, like I said earlier, that matters to you, something that you have a burning love affair with, not just something that will be okay, something that you're really in love with, that's really in harmony with your own soul's purpose. Then look at doing your vision. If you want help with it, I'm here, reach out to me. Your life force will never lie to you. When you look at what it is that's really important for you, and you allow yourself to dream and build that dream, that vision, you will change your life. You will change your results. So, Anna, closing thought for you.
Thank you, Karen. That's amazing. That's so amazing. And you inspire me so much, like you keep going, and life is still amazing. The best is still yet to come for you. And for me, I totally agree with that. And I can say one thing, that if a good life is your peak, then the only way is to go down. Yeah. So
Yeah.
it's got to be going up somehow. Otherwise, if good life is your peak, your best, then the only way is to go down. And that's the law of nature. And for me, I don't want to go down from good life.
You want
So
to go
I need
up
to
to a
take
great
me
life.
up with you. Take me up with you to the extraordinary and to the great life and greater. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Anna, and thank you everyone for listening, Telly and
everyone.
Justine, and everyone else who listens to this later. And tune in a fortnight's time around the same time for our next episode of Meaningful Conversations with Anna and Karen. Thanks so much again for joining us. Thank you, Anna.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.